Hey, yeah, what's up? This is Disciple Marshall Occurrence, reign back up in this anti-Illuminati all day, anti-telepathy all day, anti-America all day, and everybody with him. Yeah, so this video, I was talking a little bit about it on the previous video I just did. Um, I wanted to really kind of really ex- kind of expound about this. You know, America don't have to be here right up to the rapture. There's no scriptural basis for that at all. There's not. There's no scripture that says that America has this land in the West has to be here. It doesn't have to be here. And I have to say this because a lot of you Americans, period, you're very aware of the rapture belief that, you know, Christians are going to be taken and everyone that are not Christians are going to be left behind. And so you think that, okay, well, we're just gonna keep fighting and keep fighting and keep fighting, and we're gonna be here, and the rapture's gonna come, and the Christians are gonna go away, and the one world government is gonna come, and we're just gonna be uh, a part of this one world government, a part of the mark of the beast. You think that America as a country has to be here? Nothing has to be here, really, per se. I guess I would say this. I would say that I respect all prophecy. I'm not saying that uh, what is not a part of prophecy, what is a part of prophecy, uh, does not have to go away. That has can. I'm gonna say it this way. I'm not saying that lands and nations that are in prophecy that doesn't have to be. That those prophecies about those lands don't have to be. Those lands don't have to line up with those prophecies. Those lands don't have to be in position to fulfill their prophecies. But I will say that God is God. God is God. God is God before the Bible was written. Before there was a Bible, God existed. That's what you got to understand. Before any of these things that you hold on to in the scripture, and that's good that you do, you hold on to it for dear life and with all your soul and heart, and that's great. However, God is God. And this is the revelation I've been getting lately, that God can do whatever he wants to do. Because it's a lot of these wicked people that are now depending on his scriptures to come to pass. They're depending on that. They're depending on the mark of the beast, the 666. They're depending on all of that. So, I mean, if you 666 comes from the Bible, and you got Gothic Satanists wearing this, and this is part of biblical prophecy. They didn't make this up. This is not necessarily even a satanic occurrence per se, as far as them, what they have right now, because the mark of the beast isn't revealed. So everything that they're getting is from the Bible. So in other words, they're wearing prophecy. They're wearing biblical prophecy and calling themselves satanic. I know it's corny. I know it's corny. 666 is biblical prophecy. It's not something Satan made up. Okay, so it was given to a servant of God. This information was given to a certain servant of God, and the servant of God wrote the information. So it passed down through the divine kingdom, not the satanic kingdom. Okay? And these people depend on it. They're depending on biblical prophecy. Okay? But God doesn't have to God is God. God has changed his mind before. He has changed his mind totally. Okay? That's what you got to get the picture of. God has changed his mind from something he said, which would be his word. I'm going to say that again. God has changed his mind from something he said that is his word. That is his word. What he says is his word. He has changed his mind before. So that means he really can change his mind concerning anything he said concerning prophecies. He can. He can change. Who would debate that God cannot do what he want to do, and he's done it before, and he's changed his mind before. So all these things that these people are depending on, the satanic kingdom is depending more on the mark of the beast and the new world order more than you are as a Christian. Let's keep it 100. They're depending on the mark of the beast, the one world government, and all of this. Like this is going to be their little heyday. They're depending. That's how they're looking at it. There are key people that's looking at it that way. Whether they're doing anything or whether they're getting anything done or not. They're looking at prophecy as a means to live in wickedness. God doesn't have to do it then. God doesn't have to do no 666, no mark of the beast, no new world order. And this is the faith that the saints should have. This is the faith that you should have. And maybe it's a test. Maybe it's all a test to see who would have enough faith to believe that God does not have to allow this 666 mark of the beast, new world order government to exist. Who's going to have enough faith for that not to happen? I'm just saying, because you guys are getting stuck on these scriptures. You guys, and if you look at who's stuck on it the most, as far as the New World Order and the 666, it's the carnal people. It's that part. You don't see anybody that's Christian walking around talking about 666 all the time, talking about the mark of the beast. It's the people that wish to live in that system. Therefore, it's really not a promise. It obviously is not a promise for us. It's like almost like they feel that they look at it like it's a promise for them. They look at it like it's something to have and inherit for themselves. This new world government, this 666 and all of this. And so that being said, like I said, it doesn't have to, God has the last say so. God can say, no, it's not going to exist. Our rule and reign is going to go my way, and America's going to fall, and we're going to see what the world becomes after America. Because unless y'all want to admit it or not, I don't care if you want to admit it or not, America is, to me, I don't want to hear about freedoms, because freedoms are not given to people that shot down. Freedoms are not given to people that rise up in this country like Martin Luther King Jr. and Malcolm X that were assassinated. Where was their freedoms? What was the freedom of George Floyd? Where was the freedom of Dante? I could go on and on. Where was the freedom even for Tupac? Where was the freedom for Biggie? Where was the freedom? So what kind of freedom, what were we talking about here? Okay? As far as this country, this world, as far as freedom goes. What I feel is America is the worst problem. Let's X out the freedoms because that's the first thing you're going to say. All you're going to say is the freedoms. Like I said, Dante ain't get no freedom. Tupac ain't get no freedom. Biggie didn't get no freedom. On and on and on. George Floyd, on and on and on. Okay? People did, so they're not getting the freedoms. Okay? So besides your false sense of freedoms, where is the goodness that you call America? Take away the freedoms. I already showed you how nobody's really getting them. Not minorities. The freedoms are only for white people. This is not racist. This is detailed facts. I'll say that again. This is detailed facts. The freedoms have always been for white people. 100%. They've been getting the freedoms. You are working up to getting 100% freedoms. You have not worked up to 100% freedoms. So the freedoms and the liberties that the patriots and these military and police harp on, you're not at 100% getting those freedoms. So, they need to miss you with that. They need to miss me with that. Okay? If this country was pulled down and all and the wealth per se was shared throughout the overall community, we would have a better world. And if they would stop playing the world police like they're doing now. They ain't nothing but the world police and world thieves stealing all the goods and resources of this whole world. That's all they've been doing. Have you been paying attention? So they have been going over in other countries, not asking for things, knowing that they are the superpower of the world, going and taking and stealing from other countries, whether it be oil or the gold, even probably gold, diamonds, everything. Just like they took slaves, they literally took human beings as a resource. Strong men from another country took them and came right here. They started from the beginning taking from the world, stealing from the world by stealing strong African men. They started, that's their foundation. Stealing resources from the very beginning is their foundations by stealing strong African people. Okay? So, that all being said, the world, in a lot of people's views, would be better if it was no America. Because like I said, everybody's not getting these liberties everybody's talking about. What, liberty to go eat at McDonald's? Liberty to go eat at Burger King? Liberty to what? Go downtown? Go to Starbucks? That's the liberty you're talking about? To go make myself fat? Because I don't see any other liberties. We're not really got we don't have liberty to make money, not real money, not a living wage for everybody. Some of these jobs are not even a living wage. So liberties to do what? Liberties to do what? As far as minorities go. When you see people presently getting shot down, for people that say, oh, you just blaming the man, I'm blaming the man that did something 5 months ago. I'm blaming the man that did something 2 years ago. I'm blaming the man that did something 5 years ago. I'm blaming the man that did something less than a decade ago. Yeah, people there ain't no excuse. Using the man as an excuse. The man just did something. That part. He just did something. Ain't no excuse. You just too blind. You just here, just blind. Okay? You are nothing but something to accommodate the white race. That's what you're here for. Whether it's entertainment is almost racist. Rap, it's like a form of tap dancing. You're just tap dancing for the white people. Who's buying all this black music? White people. Okay? All you people out there, I mean, that's good, you got talents and everything, but the culture in which you're doing it, be careful and watch people that's looking at you like a tap dancer. That's all I'm saying. Treating you like a tap dancer, giving you wages of a tap dancer. Yeah. Talking about dreams. This ain't dreams. You are nothing but a trophy or an instrument to entertain them and accommodate them. Whether you're tap dancing, whether you're serving movie, you're in the movies, entertaining them, it's all for their entertainment. How you know it's not going to no longer be for your entertainment, for their entertainment, is when you start getting authority in America. You start getting true power. Other than that, you're just accommodating them. You're stimulating the economy. You're working for them. Look at it for what it is. Unless you have authority and power outside of them, then you're just accommodating them. Okay? So that being said, with all that the racist culture, the true racist culture that's here in America, and all this that's still going on, when I can show you stuff that is fresh, that's being done against black people, shootings by police, all this crazy stuff going on, America, the world will be better without America. You don't want to accept it. But this system, like I told you in other videos, this system is not going to fix itself. Let me say that again. This system is not going to fix itself. It's not going to work itself out. The American system has laws. They have certain things put in place. It's a lot of cultural systems, cultural perspectives, and it's not going to work itself out. I'm trying to show you. It's not going to work itself out. Black people, we claim to have all the street knowledge in the world. You claim to have all the street wisdom in the world. And you don't yet, on the average, some people get it, but on the average, you do not see that they have no intentions of changing. And you got all this street wisdom. You got all this street wisdom. You got all of that going on. And you don't get it. They're pimping you. You go to the polls every 4 years, right? That's what you do. You go to the polls every 4 years. As you go to the polls every 4 years, they tell you they're going to do this. Look how much they're changing. Out of all these hundreds of laws, right? Look how much they choose to change and choose to talk about. Look what these politicians choose to talk about when they're getting your vote. Look what they choose to talk about. Are they talking about black people having their own Chinatown, if you will? All respect to Chinese. But Africans should have their own Africa town in America. That should have been happened. Where it's their own community, their own food, their own clothing, all of their own stuff. Like you walk through Chinatown and you see all of their own stuff, their own stores and everything. This will restore African pride and love even to the youth. We had it at one time where people were wearing medallions, the African medallions and things, and then it just got lost. Now, if there was an Africa town that the government would fund, then you would have people that would be that you have people, the youth and the black people that would be prideful, again, to be African. What Africans need to do is get along by themselves with their own strength, with their own money, with their own culture, and restore pride for themselves. This is going to stop people from killing each other, because you can't kill something that you're prideful of. You can't kill your fellow man that you're prideful of. When you throw them all out here everywhere, mixed up with all other people, they don't know who they are. They don't care about that. They don't care about each other. That's what's going on. So this is why it is the way it is. But by now you would think that there would be, I'm not talking about no Black Wall Street. I ain't talking about none of that. I'm talking about an Africa town that's called, you got Chinatown, you got an Africa town. You got all the people living there from all different diversities of African ethnicities. Living in Africa town, happy, free, plenty of money, don't have to go anywhere to do anything. Banks, everything, all there. And then Africa will come to Africa town, and we will build and be able to unite with the continent of Africa, with the African Americans, with Africa town, because they will invest monies. You have banks, you have different things, their cultures from Africa, showing us how we were, showing us who we are now. This is the problem. So it's just no reason to me for America to go on, because they're not willing. They're not willing to change and talk like stuff what I'm telling you. They're not going to change, man. They're not going to change this. Okay? They're not. Have they changed it? Over the years, all this brutality, all of this stuff. I'm trying to show you how this is done. You can put a fork in this system. I'm gonna do a video on this too. Every empire has a genesis, a golden age, and a fall. I'm gonna say that again. Every empire has a genesis, a golden age, and a fall. America had a genesis. It had a golden age where all this was going on. It wasn't great, like Donald Trump said, great again, but it was a golden age where all things were lucrative and everything. The African Americans just wasn't part of that experience. But America had a golden age. They never changed the position of the black man. They never changed the position of not too many other ethnicities in this country. They didn't change their position. The only position that was really changed and went up is really white people. And if you accommodated their vision, then you got to ride along. Okay? So America went through a genesis, a golden age, and a fall. Now it's at the fall. Now we have to admit that. That's why Donald Trump kind of perceives it, even though he's a moron, he kind of perceives that it's not great as it used to be. Some of y'all don't even get there. Y'all still stuck in the 80s. Y'all still think America is the 90s. It's not there anymore. You're talking about post 9/11. That's where you at. Where buildings blew up in downtown Manhattan. That's the country you live in now. And really, honestly, things haven't been the same since then. Okay? So we're at the fall. The system is failing us. Black people are still getting killed and shot. Okay? Black on black crime. It's at an all-time high. It's at a fall. It's ready for judgment. It's ready for God's judgment. And the only way any empire can pivot out of such a situation is to make drastic changes quickly, not every 4 years, changing 2 and 3 laws. It's not going to work. Imagine this pattern, changing 2 or 3 laws every 4 months for the next 50 years. I'm trying to show you. For the next 50 years, they change 2 or 3 laws that you like. and give you 2 of the other 3 laws, but they're never changing the state of the minorities, the African Americans. They're not changing the state of them, and it's getting worse. And if they don't change the state of the communities, it's only going to wax worse. That's all that's going to happen. It's a common sense thing. I'm not being naive. I've addressed the racist people. I addressed them. The people that want to stop it. The people that don't care. People that's giving up. I've addressed all the elements. But if we're going to be serious, if people who are serious about change and want change, this is what it really is going to take. You're going to have to stop letting people play you, talking about changing this, doing this, promising these little things like it's Christmas time every 4 years, giving you these little gifts like it's Christmas time every 4 years. And you still see a system that is not for you, doesn't accommodate you, only accommodates the white man, and he's steady making money right now in the pandemic. While you're struggling, he's not. While you struggling, he's running your country. While he's on top of you saying he's for you, he's good and you're not. I mean, in I don't understand it, because I thought Americans had street wisdom, all Americans at this point, and you still letting people play you up to the polls every 4 years, talking about nothing and nothing changing really. I don't know, man. I just feel like it just, it doesn't have to be here. I'm gonna come back with part 2 on it.